Swing trading is probably one of my favorite ways to trade. It's a really nice, easy, set it and forget it. It works well for people who have that 9-to-5 job that just can't stay glued to the computer. And I'm going to show you how I made over $7,000 and counting on this incredible swing trade coming up. So yes, I made over $7,000 and counting on BYND. Now this is something that I've been talking to you about for a time, and today is D-Day. It has crashed big time despite positive earnings. I'm going to explain to you why that happened. We saw this coming a mile away. We're able to capitalize big time on this trade. But before I do, I want to welcome you to this channel. Welcome. My name is Brad, and this is Own the Chaos. You know, the world of business and finance is a crazy and chaotic world, and it is my job to help you own it. So hopefully by the end of this video, I get a thumbs up from you and a subscription to more content such as this. And so yes, we're talking about BYND. And I know that you're probably sitting here thinking, if you've been following me for a while, like, okay, yeah, we're beating a dead horse already, but there's a reason for that, you know, and it actually happened. BYND has been steadily coming down, and you know, this is the first major really big gap down that took place here and was able to capitalize on that. Now I've taken two extremely large short positions on this. My first one was where I shorted this from around $124 all the way down to about $105, $102 per share. So that was a really massive short. I made about $8,200 on that trade alone. And then, which was again also a swing trade. And so then after covering that position, I took yet another short position this past Friday after the short squeeze took place, was able to buy in at a higher price up above $100 and then play this gap down perfectly. Super happy with this trade. Again, I'm up $7,000 on this swing trade alone, and it's going to be, I think, just the beginning for BYND. I don't think the bomb has really fully gone off just yet. I'm going to explain why in just a second. And so what I'm going to do for you here is I'm going to share my screen here with you and show you why I saw that BYND was going to tank and why this was a perfect time to short this particular stock. But first I'm going to bring you to WeTrade HQ. This is where I do a large part of my due diligence, and we can search out BYND right here. It's a free platform. WeTrade HQ is absolutely free. It's a great community to be a part of. There's all kinds of great free tools and resources that you can take advantage of at WeTrade HQ, and our community is extremely interactive. You can see that, you know, you can vote on your favorite stocks as to whether or not you think they're going to go bullish or bearish, and obviously I think that I'm going to be bearish on BYND. It's just kind of a given at this point. And as you can see here, right now, as of this recording, it's trading at $85.93. For me personally, I traded this, I shorted this at around $101, and it's been an amazing short up to this point. And what I'd plan to do from here, I'll explain in just a minute, but why is it going down to, you know, $86, $85? Why did it drop down over 20% at the open today despite positive earnings? So now I'm going to pull up a news article from WeTrade HQ and read this over to you and just explain to you. It says Beyond Meat said its sales rose 250% to $92 million in the 3 months to 28th of September. The company reported a $4.1 million profit for the quarter compared to a loss of $9.3 million for the same quarter a year ago, which is impressive. It's actually a pretty good move in the right direction for a company. But the problem is the share structure. The problem is the lockup. Everybody knew the lockup was happening today. And there's some other positive results from this earnings report as well. As pointed out from Investor Place, BYND says it sees its per share earnings come in at profit from a loss during the same time last year. Revenue during the quarter was up 249% from its $26.28 million in the quarter of 2018. The company also reported operating income instead of an operating loss, like in the same period of the last year. This also holds true for the company's net income, which is a switch from a net loss in the third quarter of the previous year. At the end of this article, it begs the question, so why is BYND falling on Monday? It may have to do with the lockup period for its IPO. Which, if you've been following this channel for any period of time, you know that I've been talking about this lockup period quite a bit. And so the float of this company, the share structure of this company is about to look like a penny stocks share structure. So what that means is that it's going to be a lot harder for the the price of the stock to move in the upward direction because of the amount of shares that are going to now be available to trade. It goes right along with the simple economics that you learned in middle school: supply and demand. When there's less shares to go around, the demand goes up. Therefore, the price will go up. When their supply is plentiful, when there's a surplus of shares to go around, that means the price of the stock will typically go down because, well, it's going to be a lot harder for it to move up given all those shares that will be now available. Where do these shares come from? Well, there's investors that invest in companies before they go and through their IPO process. And so that's what's happening here. When an investor invests in a company before it goes public, they are required to hold on to those shares for a said period of time. And the way that BYND set it up, which was they had to hold on to those shares for at least 180 days from its IPO date, which is in fact today, which now means that tens of millions of shares will become available to be sold onto the market for BYND, and it's not a very good thing at all. So right now, it's actually the first day that they are available to be traded, to be sold for some sort of profit. And so what I'm thinking is going to end up happening here is that today's just day one. Usually when a lockup period ends, you'll see this selling over a period of time. It's usually about a week or two. And so I think as the week goes on, and especially over the weekend, it gets mulled over, you'll start to see more selling take place. So why is swing trading this a good idea? Well, I took this from a fundamental standpoint. You could swing trade based off of, technical analysis. You can swing trade based off of fundamental analysis. I find most of my success swing trading based off of fundamentals. And it really just comes down to what makes sense to you as far as, and what provides you with the best possible outcome as far as success is concerned. But for me, this was like a no-brainer fundamental type trade that I knew that I could take advantage of and swing trade this. So where do we go from here? Well, I'm still holding all of my shares that I decided to short from the $101 range. Right now it's trading as of this recording around $85, $86. So I may actually cover some there and then hold on to the rest of my shares to see where it might end up going from there. So I think that potentially it'll end up going back to even as close as its original IPO price of $45. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, this really looks like it's reminiscent of that GoPro type of IPO. On the surface, you wouldn't imagine that GoPro as a publicly traded company is in fact a penny stock, and by definition, it is. So with BYND mimicking that similar type of IPO process with a really small share structure to start out with, and then an insane lockup period with a large amount of shares being flooded back into the market, this has a very similar setup to GoPro. And so I don't think that BYND will indeed be a penny stock like GoPro is, but I think that we still have a long way to go from right now at being at $85 per share. I think that we end up going down to at least 60 and maybe even beyond that, no pun intended. So that's my plan, guys. Swing trading definitely has its benefits. This would have been a no-brainer for anybody, whether you were working a 9-to-5 job or if you had a regular day job that you couldn't be glued to your computer at all times. This fundamental type trading that you can kind of get yourself a hold of is a really great way to do that. Now, if you're interested in learning more about that, I do have a mentorship where I go live with folks from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time via Zoom meeting. You can ask questions freely, interrupt me at any time, but we just generate a strategy and a plan throughout the day and then execute that plan. But I'm also with folks for all day long through our Discord, our private Discord room as well, for you to ask questions and bounce ideas off of me and a lot of the other veteran traders in our group. It's a great community to be a part of, and there's a lot of people that are learning and growing and celebrating each other's success every single day. It's truly a great thing to see. And, so again, if you want to join that, the links are down in the description below. And that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope that you got something out of this. If you did, I certainly would appreciate a thumbs up. And subscribe to this channel if you want to see more such as this. And that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I will see you all before the bell. And B. Smith is out.
And keep in mind, that was like, once I get some reps in it, it's going to be better. But I just came up with that today. Sue me for being creative, for being an artist, trying to bring out content to you people instead of Google searching the 50 best funny quotes.